For Sector Issue 2, N.K. Jemisin writing with Jamal Campbell on the art, the murder mystery and the mythology building of these three races and the people on this planet, including the fact that the vegetables like to eat people, especially people that they have a bond with or see as intelligent.
Yeah, and that's a compliment. The you smell delicious.
It's a sign of respect.
It's a sign of respect. Also, so they're Venus flytrap people, right?
Basically.
That's why they're all covered up. Yeah. I don't know if I got that from the first issue. Like, I knew they were plant-based, but now that final page made sense. With all the plant stuff.
Yeah.
Jetting out. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we find out a bunch of stuff. Her roommate, I think Joe they're calling her for short, because...
it's Sojourner. Yeah. They're calling her Joe.
So Joe's roommate, who she's living with, basically, who apparently they had like a quick fling because like she was flirty with her, but then they realised that wasn't going to go anywhere. I wonder if that'll come up again, because I feel like a weird thing to throw in there like that and then just kind of move on past it.
Or it's just establishing too that she's a little bit more fluid.
I think that she's very open to having it on with all the alien species here.
Well, yeah, possibly. Yeah. Well, obviously we get to the big dance number later, but she's like, hey, but remember, he because he said that, he wants to eat you.
Yeah.
Remember, he wants to eat you.
Forget, the plant people will eat you.
So,
as well as this, as well crafted as this book is, as great as the character Joe is, I'm just kind of thinking, how fun would this story been with Jessica Cruz? A story like this, right? Like, we have other Lanterns. Not, again, I don't want this to make it sound like old grumpy guy, new character suck, because she doesn't. 2 issues in, I really like. I like her.
I think the reason I don't know if it was ever even considered, but the reason why I think that they wouldn't have said just do this with Jessica is because, and the reason why this is Young Animals, because it's meant to be a mature book. She drops F-bombs at one point.
And I understand that, but I'm saying, while Morrison's off doing his own thing, this is the only Green Lantern thing I'm reading.
Yeah.
Right? I miss Green Lantern. Like, why couldn't we do one-off stories?
There's a couple of reasons. One, they're using Jessica elsewhere, right? And they just don't want to deal with...
Yeah, but I don't like that, Connor.
No, I know. Because the book that she's in is not good, but that sucks, I know.
Yeah.
And also just... Hey, we've got another one to play with down the line now. Now we can do a story with her and Jessica.
Yeah, let's talk about some movie references here, because the book opens with her doing Morpheus. She sits down in the green chair with the sunglasses on.
Yeah.
So some movie references coming in. She's hunting the culprit who killed the prisoner last issue, and ultimately loses them, and actually loses the ability to fly. She's kind of panics midair, and this old woman,
because she loses her concentration.
Yeah,
I actually thought it was really notable that even at the start, where she's chasing after the guy, and she's confident enough with the ring, clearly, because she's making the big hands to try and catch him, and splitting the crowd, but she's running, and I thought that was really notable immediately, before she even got to the point where she acknowledged that she's going to have to fly. And she makes a big deal out of it. She goes down into the superhero flight pose, right, before she does it. When I don't think she has to do that, but I think she's like trying to psych herself up for it.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll learn more about how she ended up with her powers, because obviously, as we said, the first issue, she doesn't have a ring in the way that she's been given it. She's kind of tapped into the same energy, but she's not a picked lantern, So,
but the Guardians did send her here, right?
Yeah, they did send her here, but it's notable that they maybe sent her to the furthest outpost in the universe, because she's like, she points out she's
get her off the books.
Yeah.
And anyone else find it really interesting that the Guardians of all people sent her to somewhere where they have no emotions?
Well, because that's the thing. She's talking to her roommate about the emotion exploit and how everyone has their emotions dampened. It's very equilibrium. It's very dystopian sci-fi, all that stuff. And some people are sort of like circumventing it, and they're seen as criminals. And because there's a point here where Joe says to one of them that, hey, that not everyone with emotions, is crazy, right? Like, it's normal. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I thought was really interesting, probably my favorite scene of the issue, honestly, it was the conversation with the roommate, because the roommate starts saying that she's jealous because, you have all these emotions, and I expected someone with emotions, because we've spent centuries by this point all suppressing our emotions. I was expecting you to be like a weird wreck who was doing things willy-nilly all over the place, but you're not. You actually, you know when to keep your emotions in check, and you know when to let them out. Like, you have this control, this natural control over them
that they just don't have. So these people who take the drug to circumvent the exploit, they just don't know how to control them. Yeah.
Well, so the first part, she kind of just described Guy Gardner. That you can't keep your emotions in check and whatnot. Like, so I thought that was pretty hilarious, right? And but no, she was describing the human experience, right? Whereas that's part of our flaws as humans is, as much as we want to dampen the emotions, we kind of can't. And learning to be a human, like I'm a robot, but in experiencing life as a human is learning to control those emotions.
Yeah, and obviously we sometimes lose control. We'll get upset or we'll get angry, and like they'll burst out. And some people are especially bad at that, and those are the serial killers and so on and so forth. But like,
and me during traffic, because people are idiots and don't understand how to merge.
People are the worst.
They are, and that's it. And this is where, like, I don't know if that's straight misanthropy from me, or if it's I expect so much more out of humans and they keep disappointing me, and that's why they're the worst. Like, I don't know, but no, I really like Pete saying that's the main chunk of this book that really resonated with me was the, I wish we could do this, but we can't, and that's why we have these dampeners.
I mean, we have that conversation, and the two main things we really get from this issue is a lot more background on the planet people, which are the Ketopli. And that page where the roommates explain it, and we see the actual images of what they look like with their cloaks off and the big.
It's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, it's proper horror movie stuff. Then, of course, she goes to see the other guy who dances with her, and he's obviously from one of the other races, who's a bit more suave. And as she points out, like, one of the first things he says is that he's thrilled to see her, and she's like, "That's a weird word to use for someone who's not got many emotions."
She mentions how you don't really notice how many feeling words there are in language, and it's the same way how if you try to go to another culture, there's so many just things that like phrases that you'll say that don't translate because they don't have that phrase.
Well, and I also like too that we see that sometimes her ring translation struggles to keep up with new dialects and different stuff. So I like that happens after. Like, she's like, "Oh wait, thrilled. That's an emotional word." So, but no.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah. So. She goes to see the spokesperson for the Na, and obviously I didn't remember any of these names from last issue because this is a lot of new terminology to keep up with.
It's very dense.
Yeah. So go see this guy from the Na, and he absolutely does. We had this big 2-page spread of them dancing like all over the room.
I felt like I was reading Wicked and Divine, and I loved it.
Which is probably why it's my least favorite page of the whole book.
So I also like that we get a little bit more into the Na culture. How they all came in, and that's why they have the names that they do, is that they all came in on kind of different ships that became their own culture within the Na, which became their own nations. So when he says he'll talk to so-and-so because what was the word, shipkin? It's like, he's from the same place I am. And that's why I love these kind of sci-fi tropes in that way that, it breaks down. Everything you need to know about that culture is summed up in those couple lines.
Yeah, and then,
Ship Clan, I think it was.
Yeah, at the end of the book,
Clan. There you go.
The end of the book is her realizing that he's on switch off. The drug that's letting him experience his
Turn
emotions.
your emotions
on. And again, it's to us. Oh, someone's feeling things. That's not that big a deal. But it's systematically established that the people here do not understand how to control their emotions.
Yeah, and this is a leader. This is someone who's high up.
Yeah. So he's probably making some crazy rash decisions.
Yeah. So no, very very interesting. Like you say, there's a lot of mythology in here. It's very dense, but
I was surprised at the page count because the last one took me a little bit to get through, and this one was a breeze. But the last one was longer, right? There's more pages.
I don't think so.
No,
I just felt like it because it was so dense.
I could have sworn it was more pages.
I mean, I still think this feels longer than a lot of the other books I read this week, just because it is a lot more dense. But it wasn't as dense as the first one. The first one felt like it took a while to read.
Yeah. So this one didn't. So when I got to the end, I was like, oh, that's it. Okay. because I was expecting to be reading for a little bit longer.
Yeah,
but
and I really feel like we had a handle on the mythology as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least 2 out of 3. I mean, the third, because I couldn't even tell you, right? All the fact that they were the more computerized ones, I couldn't tell you much about the third culture yet.
You kind of have the ones with the fins and tails, the nod, then you have the plant ones, and then you have the robotic ones.
Yeah.
Like I say, we've got 2 of them now. Like, and they're built like last issue was an introduction to in a general sense.
Yep.
All of them. This kind of focused in mostly on the plant people, but gave us some of the Nart as well. We got a bit of both, and it is kind of really, I understand everything in this issue. Okay, everything's become a lot clearer, and I'm sure we'll get maybe next issue or whenever it is that for the more robotic people, we'll get that for them as well. And while maybe I don't know all the names exactly yet. If you say, "Oh, the plant people," okay, I know exactly what they're talking about. I know something about their culture. I know what they look like.
Yeah, and that page where you look at the history of them, just done in like memories almost.
Yeah,
it's such a cool looking page.
No, it's great. Obviously, Campbell's art is always fantastic, but this is some great layout work specifically.
Yeah. So there you go. That's issue 2. Matt, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give this an 8.5.
Connor?
Yeah, 8.5.
I have a solid 8. Solid 8.